Hi, this is Peter from Panama Wedding.
Hey, how are you, Peter?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. I want to first and foremost say thank you so much, and I'm definitely very honored to have you on.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that.
So I want to. This is Peter Kirk. This is from. He is the main guy from Panama Wedding. So welcome to our show.
Welcome. Yeah, how you doing?
Doing real well. I heard the song Uma, and that song really, it touched me. You know, I heard it and I was really like, oh my God. And take me through that. Like, what was going through your head when you made it, and what does it exactly mean?
So Uma is a song I wrote, I think maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I guess at the time I was playing around with a bunch of different song ideas, and I had a harmonizer in my bedroom studio, and I would sing a bunch of different words through it, and I think I started singing Uma, and there was something about the phonetic resonance of the word Uma that I liked, and it sounded really good. You know, without getting too literal about like the meaning of the song, I mean, I think in a general sense, it's about sort of obsession. It's about kind of taking a journey, and I think there's equally bright moments in the song, but there's also kind of like a darker kind of undertone. By the way, am I on speaker or something? There's a really big delay when I'm speaking.
No. Let me try to turn it down a little bit. I hear it too. Is that a little bit better?
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Okay. Cool.
Well, actually, is it your phone or is it my phone? I hear it on my end.
Okay, yeah, I was hearing it a lot in the beginning, but I don't hear it anymore.
Oh. It's only when I talk I hear it. I don't hear it when you talk.
Okay, let me try to...
Should I try calling you back? Maybe that'll fix it? I don't know.
Yeah, let's try to clear the line and call back.
All right, cool.
Okay, bye. Am I doing anything different? Oh, hey, guys. I'm still here. Put it down, put it down. Move it this way. All right. So that was, we're going to get them back online. We got a little bit abruptly interrupted, huh? We're waiting for them. I'm on my lunch break. Trying to handle this wedding. Oh, Panama Wedding. I fucking hate my job. Fucking assholes there. Thank goodness I get to go back, right? Turn my mic up. Alright, my mic is turned up. Check 1. There we go. Alright. And what else? We're going to do the fantasy football draft for the show. We're going to add 2 musicians to it, or bands, and they can run it together. I think that'll be pretty fun. I'm wondering, this guy's from Oyster Bay, New York, so I'm wondering if he's a sports fan. He also had a job in finance, and he finally got to quit. I wonder how that all turned out. Please. Should I go to... No. I'm just going to blabble then. Alright. Kitty, get down. So, I mean, I wonder if there's bands that are really into sports. I know old boy from Dark Side of the Hand, the drummer, he's into sports. His mom's actually a Buffalo Bill fan. And seems like I get a lot of, compliments or people talking shit to me every time I'm at any of these fucking showcases or show, because I usually have my Buffalo Bill hat on. It's the start of all conversation. Not the Red Light District Show shirt, but definitely the Buffalo Bill hat. So if he's from Oyster Bay is served by Queens, so he's probably a Jets fan. I hate the Jets. The Jets. Fucking worst team in the NFL. Hate them so much. Almost. Oh, man. This is not going good. Not how I expected it. Alright. Let's hit some music. Hello.
Hey, sorry for the delay. I just wanted to go plug in my phone. Anyways, so we're talking about Uma. Yeah, it's a song I wrote kind of about obsession, kind of about kind of traveling. There's a few lines in there about like the past. Uma says it's funny how our memories fade like setting suns, quietly shaping who we are. So I think there's this kind of like idea of song being set in this almost kind of like fictionalized version of New York City, where Uma's sort of driving around. It's a really cool song, and I'm glad that people really have gravitated towards it. I mean, when we put out All of the People, that's just such a big, summery, bright pop song, and Uma's a much kind of darker, sort of sexier type of song, and I think when we put it out, we sort of wondered how people would receive it, especially knowing us only for All of the People, but so far the response has been overwhelming, so we're very happy about that.
Yeah, I have you guys in my Sirius Radio. I have Sirius Radio, so I programmed Panama Wedding. So every time Panama Wedding comes on, I get the alert. The Panama Wedding's on, so I'll flip to that station, and I'm always hoping to hear Uma, and it's always All the People. So, not that I don't like All the People, but I'm just really inspired. Like, in certain aspects of life, you're inspired by little things every day. And that Uma just, that song, how you put it together, how you guys put it together, how you guys, put it out there, it's a beautiful song. And
thank you.
It not only beautiful, but everything's placed where it should be, and there's nothing wrong. It's almost the perfect song in my taste, and I love it, and I'm so happy to meet you and meet the creator of the song.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate that. That's great to hear.
Do you guys get more feedback in regards to All the People, or is it more of Uma?
We don't really get. I mean, the most feedback that we get personally is from other musicians, and when we're on tour, we went on tour with Dan Kroll. We went on tour with RAC. We went on tour.
I love RAC, man.
Yeah, and like that's always Uma's always been the song that everybody's like, "Whoa, what is the song? This song's awesome." We love that song, and so that always for us is the most meaningful when we hear from our peers that they really dig something. And when we were on tour with Dan Kroll, him and his band would like sound check to Uma just for fun, and our producer Andrew Morey sent us a video of our Riot recently just playing Uma during sound check as well. I mean, I think just hearing feedback from other bands is usually the best, and sort of fortunately or maybe unfortunately, the only real feedback you get online these days is just sort of how many people are, I guess, playing your song. And obviously Uma's done incredibly well. It hit number one on Hype Machine, and it's had amazing response online. But I guess it's these types of phone conversations where we get to really actually talk to people in the community who have feedback for us. And yeah, I mean, the response has been great. There's other songs too that we still feel like, there's a song on the EP called Trust, which is personally my favorite song on the EP, and that's sort of just starting to kind of break out a little bit, where people are hearing it more and more, and sort of giving it a second chance. I think it's just the nature of the way the radio business works, where you have one song and there's a campaign built around that one song. And for us, it's always been all the people. So naturally, when you have Sirius radio or you have terrestrial radio around the country, that's the song that they're going to play first. But which is great. But hopefully at some point, Uma will have its day on radio, and hopefully we look forward to that.
And it is, and I have a feeling that that song right there is going to do well for you guys. It's gonna open up a lot of doors, and because something that talented, that great, it can't be bad. It's going to be nothing but bright lights and love from now on. And I think your guys is, as soon as the mass majority of the world hears you guys, I think it's just a matter of time for you guys, to be just, taking your stake in music history.
Yeah, I hope so. We try. We're trying.
All right, so you're from Oyster Bay, New York.
Well, I'm from Long Island, and I'm actually from a town called Seacliff, and Seacliff is a part of this area called Oyster Bay, which is like the kind of the North Shore of Long Island. And I grew up I grew up there and played piano. Always had a piano in my house, took classical lessons, and was always sort of a bit of an audiophile and kind of music geek, and had my first sort of Pro Tools rig when I was in high school, and had an M-Box, and was always trying to put together tracks. And I've just always been kind of working on music in some capacity. I've always loved recording. I love songwriting, and I'm always drawn to production. And I've done it for a very long time. And prior to Panama Wedding, I was releasing music under my own name, really, without any real sort of focus or vision. It was more just kind of putting out songs and sending them around to friends. And eventually, I think there was just sort of this tipping point where my songs started getting really good, and people started to take notice. And I guess at a certain point, I wanted to release music under a name or a moniker that more closely reflected the type of music I was interested in making. And Panama Wedding is actually the name of the song that I wrote. And there wasn't a tremendous amount of thought put into it. I think Panama Wedding was the name. It was a song that a lot of my sort of friends and small coterie of fans really liked, and so it was sort of a natural fit. I wanted a name that would kind of bridge what I was doing in the past to something I was doing now, and all of the people was the kind of the first song that I put out under the name Panama Wedding that I had previously released under my own name, Peter Kirk, and obviously the response has just been tremendous. So I'm sorry I'm going to my whole biography there.
Man, you can talk forever. I'm fine.
But yeah, I mean, that's essentially it. I mean, I just grew up in kind of Long Island. I didn't really go to like a lot of concerts in the city. I mean, but growing up near New York and kind of a cultural center, kind of motivated me a bit. And I think certainly living in New York City, I was exposed to a lot of people who had common interests as myself, and there was a point, I guess, somewhere around 2009 that I started renting a studio with a friend of mine in Midtown Manhattan. I had like a very small share in this larger studio, and I would basically go there every night after work and just try to put together some songs and try to scrap together some ideas. And and make something. And I kind of just kept at it for a few years while holding down like a really serious day job. And
you were in financing, is right?
Yeah, I worked in a number of different kind of capacities within the financial world. I mean, I was never really like this big investment banker, trader dude, or whatever. I think people have an impression of finance as like, you know, there's this sort of caricature of what finance really is. But I had a pretty good like just kind of junior level kind of role that certainly paid the bills, but was also really demanding at the same time. Kind of more of like a project manager role and sort of like the more technical end of things. And
what made you get up the courage to just, you know what, enough is enough, I need to pursue my dream?
You know, I don't know if it ever really happened like that. It was more like, I think I got to this point where I stopped just caring what other people thought. I mean, I think that's a big. I mean, I think everyone pretends that they're all big and mighty and courageous, but really, I think everyone's sensitive on some level.
Yeah.
And people are scared to put out things because they're worried about what people, you know, how people will perceive them or perceive their art that they're making. And I don't know what it was, but there was this like period where I really genuinely just stopped caring about.
How old were you?
I guess I was like 23 at that time. But anyway, I guess I don't know what it was. I felt this like this sort of sense, and there was also this kind of coincided with the financial collapse, where there was this sort of sense of like nihilism in the culture, where like it was like nothing really mattered anymore. It almost felt like I really enjoy making music. I'm just going to make music, and that's it, period. I don't care who likes it or how it's perceived. I don't even care, you know, what success, you know, it brings me. I mean, on some level, I always cared, but I was just like, I like making music. I'm going to make music, and that's it. And I think maybe I took it a little too far because I was creating music all the time without much regard to doing the things that I think are important in making you successful. Like, I never really cared about getting a good manager or an agent or some of the things that I think propel people into doing this full time. I almost kind of just like was so I had this real sense of tunnel vision about the music, and that's all I cared about. And I guess it just came to a point where I started doing it for about a year or two, and I started getting good. I don't know. It was like this weird. I guess for a while I was putting out music that I never really felt was that good. I mean, I always felt that the songs were pretty good, but I never felt like I could produce them on my own at a level that I was happy with. And there was just this sort of like switch over at some point where I felt like my music went from being like, okay, amateurish to like actually sounding really good and professional.
Are you guys making good money now, or are you guys still on the struggling route?
We're not struggling, but we're not making good money. I don't know what good money means anymore, but
well, I mean, enough to sustain a living.
We're definitely taking tour support. We're not funding our own tours. You know, we're definitely making money though off of shows. We're not. We don't have any like giant sinks at the moment where we're getting this like big windfall of money or anything like that. But you know, we're kind of getting there. I mean, our shows are starting to sell better. They're starting to. We're starting to get better offers for show, like that are paying real money. That we're not breaking even. We're making some, and you know, we're starting to get a bit of buzz in like the kind of marketing community for some potential sync licenses and things like that. So hopefully this coming year we'll actually be able to see like more profit, more money, and you know, I don't know.
Who's your inspiration? Like your top two inspirations, like that is one of the reasons why I am doing what I'm doing. Like, I am so inspired by this artist that, like, I want to be as good as him or even better than this guy.
Gee, that's a tough one. Well, I think, look, I mean, I certainly have my sort of like musical heroes that I grew up with, whether it's McCartney or Dylan or Jackson Brown or anyone who I perceive as creating songs at the highest level, or someone like a Paul Simon who's really a genius and I think creates a level of music that transcends the vast majority of his or her peers. So I'm always inspired by those types of artists. I think in a more general sense, though, I mean, I think indie music, quote unquote indie music, whatever that means, the sort of DIY culture, the line between the DIY indie music world and a sort of like major label, highly produced kind of community, that line became very, very blurry in around 2007, 2008. I think the technology finally caught up to sort of the economics of the business, and there was just a lot of people putting out music on their own that was really good. That it wasn't easy to differentiate between someone putting out something in their bedroom versus someone going to, I don't know, Westlake Studios in Hollywood or something. And I think the fact that there were people who were just making music on their own and seeing some success was a huge inspiration. There was finally the sense that you could really make your own records on your own with your own vision, and you didn't need thousands and thousands of dollars. And that, I think, that reality was the impetus to really start making music. And at that point, I felt like there were no excuses not to.
I love that. No excuses. That's a moniker I live by a lot. If you could collab with any artist, who would you want to collab with for one song?
This is a common question that I've been asked, and I never really know quite how to answer this. I think if I could collaborate with any artist, I mean, I would maybe say Peter Gabriel, just because A, I'm a huge fan of Peter Gabriel, and B, he seems like the type of artist who would be down to do something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I could say Prince to you, but I feel like Prince doesn't collaborate with anybody.
And nobody.
Yeah, I could say like someone extremely big and iconic like Paul McCartney or Sting, but like, frankly, like, really, if we were actually to collaborate, it would be just kind of like, a picture session where we'd, take a bunch of pictures, and it would be all kind of play acting in some way. Whereas, like, a guy like Peter Gabriel, I felt like if I actually wanted to collaborate with him, he'd be like, okay, let's do this, and he'd actually put his mind to whatever we were working on, because he's done that with younger bands like Hot Chip, and he's done that. I mean, I think he's collaborated with a bunch of, or someone like a guy like David Byrne, for example, who another great example of an artist who is still making music and still trying to come up with ideas that are fresh and kind of push the envelope a bit. Who's not necessarily just sort of like swimming in their money and resting on their laurels.
All right, I have 2 more questions for you.
Sure.
Off the music tip, what are your passions? And I know, just by talking to you, I feel like in your mind it's music 100% of the time. But like, what do you do to like wind down to, if you need a vacation from it? Like, do you watch specific shows, or are you into sports?
I'm into photography. I actually, right before I got on the phone conversation, emailing with a guy on Craigslist trying to buy a new camera from. I sold the synthesizer this morning at our studio to basically come up with the cash to get this new camera. I'm always like buying and selling and trading stuff in.
Yeah, me too, man.
I really love photography. I'm very much an amateur. I'm not, not professional at all, but I kind of love being an amateur at photography. It's something that I kind of have fun with and not get too obsessed about. And so I do that. I'll go out, around the city with my girlfriend, and we'll take pictures and just kind of do that. And other than that, I don't know. My other passions are I like to ride my bike and kind of travel around. And other than that, it's pretty much. Outside of music, there's not a lot of time left over, especially these days. So,
yeah.
That's pretty much it.
What kind of camera do you have?
Well, I have a few. I have like an old Rebel T2i that I use as like a DSLR, which it's been absolutely fine. I've never had the need to get anything fancier than that, like a Mark III or anything. I have an old Canon AE1 camera. It's like a film camera, 35 millimeter.
Nice.
Which is amazing. It's such a good camera, but it is film, and film cumulatively is expensive to develop. Yeah. And now I'm in the market of getting like one of those Fuji X cameras that are like the X100S. It's like a little bigger than a point and shoot, but it's not as big as like a big clunky DSLR camera.
Yeah.
So I definitely want something that's a little bit smaller that I can bring on tour and kind of just be able to kind of whip out really quickly and get some really good photos. And
the Rebel's awesome, huh?
Yeah, I've a good friend of mine, a coworker of mine, he kind of got me into photography. He had a really nice, he had like the Canon 5D Mark II, and then he upgraded to I think a Nikon, and I don't know. He's like, yeah, you should just get the T2i and see how you like it. See if you like even photography at all. And I loved it. I've never felt the need to get anything more fancy than it. I've collected a few pretty good lenses, like 24 to 70 L lens. I've been able to get some like nice stuff over the year, nice lenses, and yeah, T2i is great. It's great for video. I used to shoot video on it, like acoustic videos in the studio, and I love it. It's one of the most useful cameras. And now you could probably get a T2i now used. I don't think they make them anymore, but probably get one used for like $200 or something, and it's like a state-of-the-art camera.
My camera is so messed up right now. Like it lags. So I'm pressing down, to take the picture, and it's starting to lag now. Just recently,
what do you have?
We have a Nikon 2100 or 20. Is that about right? Did I say it right?
I'm not as familiar with the Nikon as I am with the Canon, but I feel like everything Nikon makes is good, though. Like everything, their lenses especially are so good, and they're not as expensive as the Canon lenses. Some of them.
Yeah. And we have what we do here is we are a radio station that is, we want to bring focus on music because cool. I feel that, major record labels and I'm not trying to fault them, but they have a job to do, and that's to make money. And
right.
I'm not trying to make any money. Like I just want to, I want to showcase what I'm capable of as a radio show. We're a comedy radio show, real funny, edgy, and in the process of doing that, we help a lot of musicians, especially in our own community.
That's great.
We're putting on the Ventura County Music Awards.
Okay.
It's the second annual. It'll be this September, and that's where I feel my calling is to help other people.
Awesome. Yeah, you got to do what you love, right?
Yeah, and that's what I love. I love talking shit to people. I love busting people's balls, and I love I love music. So let's combine them all.
Sounds good to me. Yeah. Cool.
Also, are you into any sports?
Not really. I mean, I follow the New York Jets.
I knew it.
Unfortunately, I follow the Jets. It's a blessing and a curse, but yeah. I mean, I grew up watching the Jets. I'm a Mets fan, unfortunately, as well.
Oh my God, those are like the two worst combinations ever. Huh?
No, it gets worse than that. I'm also a New York Islanders fan, which is just like you're pushing over the edge there. But I definitely, there was a time I was like way more into NFL football, and I mean, it's not that I don't watch it now. It's just that like I don't know. I guess my schedule these days is not really conducive to like going to watching a football game on a Sunday and like getting wasted with my friends. Yeah. But I think the NFL football is great.
My father's from New York. My father's from North Collins.
Where's that? Oh, Colony?
No, North Collins.
Where's that?
It's up north. It's about like 30 minutes from Buffalo.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's up there. So is he a Bills fan?
Yeah. And unfortunately, I'm a Bills fan as well.
Oh, well, I respect.
No. We haven't made it to a playoff since 1999.
Yeah, well,
it's 15 years.
Jets aren't any better. I mean, we made the playoffs, but
you guys actually got Chris Johnson, so that should be exciting for you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every few years there's something like exciting that comes along. Whether I guess the last one was like Revis, and then we some people were excited about Tebow. Obviously, that turned into a disaster. But yeah, every few years we get something that's like pretty promising, but I don't know. I feel like the organization has a lot of problems, and I've never really been happy with Rex Ryan as the coach, despite his relative success to like Herm Edwards or whatever. But
right.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I'll always root for the Jets. It's actually exciting now because they're playing All the People and The Song Feels Like Summer on ESPN all month. So for all like the preseason games and stuff they've been playing, they're playing our songs on all my friends have been texting me like, dude, I heard your song on ESPN. I'm like, oh, great.
Hell yeah.
But, so yeah. That's
cool.
All good.
All right. And the last thing is, if you guys ever come through California in the Ventura area, we have an iconic theater out here, the Ventura Theater. I would love to meet you. I would love to shake your hand.
Yeah, sure. Where exactly is Ventura relative to LA?
It's about an hour and a half north.
So what is like? Obviously, Ventura is a famous area, well known. But what would you say is like the closest major city, or is it near? Are you guys like near Laguna or like what?
No, we are in between Santa Barbara and Hollywood. Do you know where have you heard of Calabasas?
Yes, yeah.
Calabasas is probably 30 minutes south. Or north. It's 30 minutes north from Calabasas. So it's it's closer to Hollywood, but it's a great, and if you're here, the weather is just ridiculously nice all year round.
I'm sure.
And number two, we have the best fish tacos in the United States.
Yeah, I mean California. Any form of Mexican food in California is like
superb,
superior. Period. Like in New York, like it's just we're actually we go to LA. We've been to LA twice this summer, and each time we're just like blown away by the Mexican food. It's just like it's everywhere. It's cheap and it's amazing, and we try to eat as much as possible and get sick. But no, the food in California is just off the charts. I mean, you can't. But we're through California a little bit. I mean, we're going to be there again in November. We're touring with a band called Small Pools, which is from California.
Oh, Small Pools! I love them.
I don't think we're going to Ventura, but I think we're hitting like San Diego, and then we're going to. I think we're doing like Anaheim, and then we're doing LA proper, and then I think we're going like further up the coast. But yeah, anytime we get to play in California, it's always like a different, like amazing experience. So it's always exciting to.
So my goal for, because you guys did this and we appreciate it. My goal is to get you guys your next song to number 1 on all 18 countdown.
All right.
And the last band we had on, Knox Hamilton, we got them to number 2, and they're still at number 2. We're still trying to get them to number 1, but we will, with all our followers in full force, we will try to our best to get you to number 1.
All right. So I like to hear. So I gotta be better, pay more attention to this all 18 thing. I mean, we seemingly are always on the alt 18, which is an amazing thing. But I don't know like what actually drives the numbers, how people get up further. I guess people vote. Is that how it works?
Yeah, you have to like Twitter. So it's it's basically all Twitter things. Okay. So we try to come up with funny and clever ways to get their attention,
Cool. Yeah, that's smart.
And that's what we're gonna do, man. And I won't rest until
Sounds good.
The next time I speak to you, you're number 1.
Cool, man. Well, I really appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, well, I'm gonna run back to the studio, but yeah, hit me up anytime for anything. It's been great.
All right,
really
buddy.
Cool.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.